I think you could improve a lot in utility usage, because if you use lineups for nades like this one, you wouldn't have failed the molly. And also this HE smoke break, you can use the lineup from Zaivu. When you wanna molly top mid boxes, there's a lineup, a simple lineup you can do. A fail-safe lineup. Zaivu break I was mentioning, this is the way you should do it. You go by this bench and there's a little black dot here. Just left click. Hey guys, we're back with the demo review. It's been a while, definitely. You guys know that I've had a lot going on, so I'm not gonna go into that. For any of you who might be new to the channel, I'm a professional coach, former professional player. And with my demo review analysis, I'm trying to help you guys out. So it's completely free, and if you want your demo to be reviewed as one of the next and upcoming demo reviews, comment below with your nickname and your ELO, and I'll be randomly selecting one of you guys. Okay, so for today, we'll be going over Marvin's Mirage game. Marvin is 2.6k ELO, and he wrote to me that he felt on T side that he's a little bit lost, a little bit idealless. So we'll definitely focus and emphasize on that, but we'll pay attention to City side as well. Of course, needless to say, my goal is to help Marvin improve in anything I notice. Anything that could be done better, any mistakes, as I naturally pay attention to a lot of detail. Okay, enough of the waffling, let's jump into the game. Okay, I have a point for this round because this is the first proper full buy. You will go out mid, and it's only window smoke there. Keep in mind that you guys one pistol, you lost 3 in a row. That means, look at their money. They can have op at any time. So picking like this with only window smoke, which op can break and pick top mid easily. No top mid smoke, no flashes behind box, nothing. This is really, really risky. You didn't get really punished for it, but I feel like this type of approach is really reckless. Keep in mind that the best thing for CTs is to pick one of you guys off as early in the round as possible, and it usually happens on top mid. But I also have to praise this kind of approach from you in this situation, because you were not really taking the duel, you didn't fully challenge the guy, you're just controlling them to see where both of them are, but also to buy some time and relieve your teammates of the pressure, especially the guy who was planting. So that's a thumbs up, and keep doing this. In this round I saw you throwing top mid smoke from CSGO. This lineup doesn't really work in CS2 because the smoke goes too deep, and the whole purpose of the smoke is that you can go behind it, and you can also get flashed in to go second delpan behind boxes as well, unless CTs maul it. And also, yeah, you guys smoked inside con, but if that smoke isn't there, they could kill you as you're crossing 2 boxes. Anyways, to go back to this round, you try to HE window guy, you go chair. You know that there's no window smoke, you're a little bit anxious when it comes to that. Normally you don't expect this Rambo guy, that's an appropriate nickname. You don't expect him to swing through con smoke and to kill you like that. But my point is, even if you hadn't died to Rambo, this is the problem. The only guy who has a smoke is ramp lurk guy. So there's not much for you to do here other than exhaust the possibility of CTs peeking into you. Now I feel like whenever I watched a game that's over 2.5k ELO on Faceit, all of the CTs are swinging and fighting for mid. So there's 2 options here. We either take middle thoroughly with util, we take it properly. Smoke window, smoke top mid, see if they're gonna break it, wait for them to pick, flash for each other, then go down bottom con, then smoke top con, then molly ladder. I know that's gonna be too complicated for people playing premium. But if there's no such mid take, proper mid take, then you just wait for CTs to peek and see if they play aggressively or defensively. It doesn't cost you that much, it costs you 15-20 seconds to just sit in one position and wait for them. Especially in these kind of situations where you don't have util, window is not smoked. So my point being is, there's a con smoke, this guy is peeking through it, but even if he hadn't peeked, the smoke would have faded, and you had 3 potential positions they can pick you from. I would rather exhaust that possibility and stay in second delpan or chair and wait for CTs to pick, isolate one side only, just hold one side, see if somebody's gonna pick, but also be ready to swing if somebody like Rambo guy picks from bottom con, and you try to punish them, then to get ahead of yourself and go into these kind of moves. I understand your position, you didn't expect him to make such a move, but understand that this is the way meta works nowadays, so to say, on Faceit. The follow-up gun run, it's like you heard me. The only thing I didn't like is, this was in my opinion too risky. I know he has a tricky angle, but any of the better operas have really good chances of getting you. But this is the thing I really like. You figured out the way this guy is playing in con, that he likes to peek through smoke a lot. You waited, you anticipated, that's really nice. Next situation I want to address. You go top mid, you see an HE flying to top mid, and you understand that they are most likely pushing mid. This was perfect. But the next move of you swinging, dry swinging without flash behind boxes, I want to say that the same way you understood the situation, they might push mid, that this HE was an indication they will push mid. The same way you shouldn't go ahead of yourself and dry pick middle, because the way you guys killed this guy, and it was more like you traded your teammate because one of your teammates died. It's less likely that somebody is pushing top mid on their own, like a solo player. So my point is, if you already have a flash, use it behind top mid boxes or top left mid before swinging. You shouldn't swing dry here. Final round of the half, you go top mid and you pick with op. First of all, CT guy has advantage. Second of all, you aim too low because everybody goes on top of the bench. So I would say dry picking without VP flash or somebody jumping over. I don't see anyone winning that duel more than 3 out of 10 times. Here's something I really liked from you in CT pistol. You were going to pick shot, but you also were aware of the fact that this B-Apps guy who you previously saw, so you repositioned properly. I like that you're mobile, not static. And I also like the fact you have space awareness, how to play with your teammate. Many players, even above your ELO, do not have that kind of feeling. Also, another thing, Marvin, I know so many players out there who would run to get some eco frags and they will die. So I like how you're staying hidden here. You waited for your teammates. You had all the info that it's many guys out mid. And you peeked when your teammates were close. So you weren't greedy, because if you had died, then you would lose equipment as well, not only M4, which later in the half is gonna mean a lot. I think you could improve a lot in utility usage, because if you use lineups for nades like this one, you wouldn't have failed the molly, and also this HE smoke break, you can use the lineup from Zaivu. When you wanna molly top mid boxes, there's a lineup, a simple lineup you can do. A fail-safe lineup. Zaivu break I was mentioning, this is the way you should do it. You go by this bench and there's a little black dot here. Just left click. I think a player of your mechanical caliber needs to be on a higher level of utility usage for sure. It's pity that you excel at different departments of the game which are arguably more difficult, and you fail some of the nades that should be simple. This is what I was saying. You are really crispy when it comes to aim and when it comes to feeling for the game. With D3K, I think you saved your team and you won the map. So everything can look much better if you improve in these things I'm bringing up. This round right here, first of all, the game scams you. But as soon as your teammate on B dies and you try to take B, yeah, the timing is really rough. I don't know how you didn't hear him, because he stepped here. See, he was stepping middle of site. Your teammates were probably talking in game. But all I'm trying to say is you need to be aware of the timing, that he can already be site close to kitchen. Still, it's not an easy thing to do, but mine is to point out. I have to include this flick in the video because I think it reflects your mechanical skill. Actually, what I really like from you is that you are sharp, yet you are composed, you're calm. So in my opinion, there's a lot of room for improvement. And for the end of Demo U itself, I want to show from your perspective how important top mid smoke is. So as things become chaotic on mid, you catch these off guard. We have to apply the same logic on our T side. We have to do proper top mid smoke, and smoking window only is not enough when we know the opponents can have op. Okay, let's talk how could we improve your T side. First of all, you don't have to always go middle. I know you're an op player, but especially if you don't get any support on mid, and maybe your opponents are playing really well on mid, do not limit yourself with those kind of options that you go mid alone. Why am I saying this? Because sometimes when you go ramp and they do bad molotov, you can try to go for a pick here, wait for stairs guy to pick you, use the possibility they might overstep. Next thing is, even if you want to go mid and you want to contribute to taking mid, you can go from underground. Go slowly, check everything properly, wait for them to pick you. Then when you go under window. I was explaining this as well in my previous videos. You break window, you do Molotov, and with one molly, you clear whole ladder room, which is gonna be really, really useful for you guys. Why am I saying this? Because as you guys are taking con, things are gonna become hectic, and then you wanna go into con, somebody picks from short, then this guy who's in ladder room, window smoke is fading, he's gonna go bricks, he kills somebody, and the whole round falls apart. Try to test things out. Go B. See how this guy is playing B. You don't have to necessarily go all the way and pick, because at some point there's just too many angles, and if your teammates are not effective on mid, they're not successful on mid, you're not gonna find much success here, because naturally if they get killed on mid, then CTs will be focusing on sides. That means ramp, palace, B-apps. You're gonna be watching this. When it comes to the top mid smoke, you need to do what I was saying before. This is the smoke you should be throwing. So it covers the whole thing, and then you can also use it to your advantage to peek behind it a little bit. Although there are no one-way smokes in CS2, things can be a little bit tricky for your opponents, and it's gonna provide you a couple of extra milliseconds, so to say, to pick somebody behind the smoke. You'll have better chances of catching them off guard. And when it comes to mid control alone, remember the best way of taking mid for you. If you guys have all the necessary util, you have the numbers on mid, go together, you can trade each other effectively, you can take map control, and then you can think about how you're gonna end the round. If you play default 1-3-1, with not that much util, I'd rather see you stay in second Elpan, wait for your opponents first to pick, and try to figure out how they play, and then you proceed into taking map control, taking con, or simply leaving mid. But you know, taking things for granted that CTs are gonna be playing defensively, they're not gonna do any crazy things, that doesn't work nowadays on Face It. Everybody plays aggressive. Okay, Marvin and rest of you guys who are watching, I hope you enjoyed yet another demo review, and I hope you found it useful. Of course, needless to say, if you like my content, please like and consider subscribing if you're not subscribed yet. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next demo review.